In the bustling town of Oeri, nestled in the heart of Imo State, stood a magnificent church called the Sanctuary of Miracles. Its fame spread like wildfire, not just for its size, but for its charismatic leader, Pastor Thaddeus. His voice was like honey, his words like a soothing balm, and his promises of divine intervention drew people from far and wide. Whenever a member of his flock came to him, burdened with the troubles of life, be it financial hardship, illness, or a barren womb, Pastor Thaddeus would listen with a look of profound sympathy. After a moment of deep, theatrical thought, his solution was always the same. "My child," he would say, his voice a low, serious hum, "the spirits of your ancestors are troubled. We must appease them. You will undergo a 7-day prayer and fasting program right here in the church. No food, only water. I will guide you personally. At the end of the 7 days, your breakthrough is assured." The desperate congregation, yearning for solutions, saw this as a sign of his deep commitment. They would willingly lock themselves away in the special prayer rooms he had built. One of these hopeful souls was a woman named Adana. For years, she and her husband, Emeka, had prayed for the fruit of the womb, but their prayers seemed to fall on deaf ears. Friends and family whispered, some in sympathy, others in mockery. Their hearts were heavy, so they turned to the renowned Pastor Thaddeus. True to form, after hearing their plight, the pastor prescribed his signature solution. "Adana, my daughter, your case requires a deep spiritual cleansing. You will begin the 7-day prayer tomorrow." Emeka was hesitant. "Pastor, can't we pray from home? I'm worried about her health, fasting for so long." But Pastor Thaddeus was persuasive. "Doubt is the enemy of faith, my son. Do you want your miracle or not? This is a sacred instruction." Defeated by his wife's desperate hope, Emeka reluctantly agreed. So, Adana entered the prayer room. The first 2 days were a blur of hunger and fervent prayer. But by the 3rd day, a strange weakness, unlike anything she had ever felt, began to creep over her. It wasn't just physical exhaustion. It was a draining of her very spirit, her will. Her thoughts became muddled, her prayers felt empty, and a heavy, dark cloud seemed to descend upon her. Unknown to the faithful, Pastor Thaddeus was not a man of God. He was a servant of a darker power, a deceptive wolf in sheep's clothing. The 7-day prayer was a sinister ritual. Each day, as the person weakened from fasting, he would sneak into their room at midnight. He would chant incantations in a language unknown to them, drawing a strange symbol on the floor with white chalk, and tying a small, almost invisible red thread around their ankle as they slept. This ritual wasn't for breakthrough. It was a ritual of bondage, transferring the person's luck, destiny, and spiritual energy to himself and his dark masters. In return, he gained more influence, wealth, and a seemingly magical power that held his congregation spellbound. Meanwhile, Emeka grew increasingly anxious. He wasn't allowed to see Adana, only to be told she was deep in the spirit. But his intuition screamed that something was wrong. He remembered his grandmother, a wise old woman deeply rooted in traditional knowledge. He traveled to his village to seek her counsel. After he explained the situation, his grandmother's eyes, usually warm and kind, hardened with suspicion. She gave him a small, carved wooden charm. "Go back to that church at night," she instructed. "Hold this. It will protect you and reveal what is hidden in the darkness. Do not let him see you." That very night, Armed with the charm, Emeka crept back to the church. The air was thick and heavy, colder than it should be. He found a small window particulars to Adana's room and peered inside. His blood ran cold. There was Pasthedius, knowing pray, a trance-like state, chanting guttural language over his wife's sleeping form. A faint, dark mist seemed to rise from Adana and flow towards the pastor. Emeka saw the red thread his wife's ankle and understood. This was not prayer, this was theft. This was sorcery. Filled with a righteous fury, Emeka didn't confront him alone. He knew the pastor's hold on the people was too strong. The next day, he went to the market square and gathered the elders and the local youth. He told them everything he had witnessed. Many were skeptical, but Emeka's reputation as an honest man and the raw desperation in his voice convinced them to investigate. That evening, as they said, la crowd, the town elders, marched to the Sanctuary of Miracles. They burst in just as Pastor Thaddeus was about to begin his nightly ritual on another unsuspecting victim. Caught in the act, surrounded by the chalk symbols and the paraphernalia of his dark craft, his charismatic mask shattered. The crowd gasped in horror. They saw the red threads on the ankles of the weak and disoriented people in the prayer rooms. The deception was laid bare for all to see. The rage of the betrayed congregation was terrible. They dragged him from his unholy altar and into the street. The man who had been revered as a demigod was now a pariah, disgraced and exposed. The spell was broken. As his power source was cut off and his evil deeds exposed to the light, a strange and rapid illness befell him. His body began to waste away, his skin turning a sickly grey. The wealth he had stolen vanished, and the influence he commanded evaporated like a morning mist. Adana and the other victims were carefully nursed back to health. The red threads of Jitos and the symbols of their captivity washed away. They had been deceived, but they were now free. The tale of Pastor Thaddeus and his 7 days of deception became a cautionary story, told throughout Owerri and beyond, a stark reminder that not all who call on God's name walk in his light, and that true faith is found not in grand pronouncements, but in the truth of the heart. Thank you so much for journeying with us through this story. We hope it served as both entertainment and a lesson. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button for more captivating African folk tales. Until next time, stay safe and stay wise.